The behavior of market participants is guided by market values, and market values are quite different in character from the moral values that are supposed to guide the behavior of people as members of society. This opens up a whole range of questions which I have not been able to resolve concerning the conflict between market values and social values. The agency problem has provided me with some new insights. I was also inspired by a short monograph by Bruce R. Scott on the concept of capitalism. As a result, I may have something new to say. Indeed, I myself am shocked by some of the conclusions I have reached. Scott argues that capitalism has been misinterpreted by conflating it with the market mechanism. This is a distortion that Scott attributes mainly to Milton Friedman. I'm less specific and attribute it to market fundamentalism. Scott argues further that behind the invisible hand of the market lurks the visible hand of human agency, namely the political process which sets and administers the rules. This is where the agency problem comes into play. So does the conflict between market values and social values. The United States is a democratic, open society based on the freedom of the individual, protected by the rule of law as defined by the Constitution. At the same time, the American economy is based on the market mechanism which allows individuals to engage in free exchange without undue interference from arbitrary actions by governmental authority. The political and economic arrangements seem to fit together seamlessly. One could easily speak of an open society and a market economy in the same breath, and people, including me, often do. But appearances are deceptive. There is a deep-seated conflict between capitalism and open society, market values and social values. The conflict has been successfully covered up by the market fundamentalist ideology, which gained the upper hand in the 1980s during Ronald Reagan's presidency. The distinguishing feature of the market mechanism is that it is amoral. One person's dollar is worth exactly the same as another person's, irrespective of how she came to possess it. That's what makes markets so efficient. Participants needn't worry about moral considerations. In an efficient market, individual decisions affect market prices only marginally. If one person abstained from participating as either buyer or seller, someone else would take her place with only a marginal difference in the price. Therefore, individual market participants bear little responsibility for the outcome. But markets are suitable only for individual choices, not for social decisions. They allow individual participants to engage in free exchange, but they are not designed to exercise social choices, such as deciding the rules that should govern society, including how the market mechanism should function. That's the purview of politics. Extending the idea of a freestanding market, self-governing and self-correcting, to the political sphere is highly deceptive because it removes ethical considerations from politics, which can't properly function without them. In the United States, politics takes the form of representative democracy. People elect representatives who operate the levers of power. They are agents who are supposed to represent the interests of the people. In reality, they tend to put their own interests ahead of the interests of the people. Getting elected is expensive, and representatives are beholden to their supporters. Those who don't play the game, don't get elected. That's how money pollutes politics, and special interests trump the public interest. The agency problem in the American political system is not new. It's inherent in a representative democracy. The right to petition elected representatives was written into the Constitution. Yet, the agency problem seems to be much more severe today than it was even as recently as my arrival in the United States in 1956. Why? There are several objective historical developments which may be held partly responsible, notably the development of sophisticated methods of manipulating public opinion and the growth of special interests. But the main culprit is a decline in public morality fostered by the rise of market fundamentalism. I'd like to think that at the time of the founding of the Republic, citizens were genuinely guided by a sense of civic virtue. Fortunately, the founding fathers didn't put much faith in that and built the Constitution on the division of powers. They created checks and balances between competing interests. That's why the Constitution holds up so well in spite of the decline in morality. Even when I first arrived in 1956, people professed to be guided by intrinsic values like honesty and integrity. It may have been hypocritical with all kinds of vices clandestinely practiced, but still, it was very different from today's public life, where the blatant pursuit of self-interest is openly admitted and people are admired for being successful, irrespective of how they achieved it. I don't want to be misunderstood. Painting